Welcome to this look at the first part of a mod map pack. With me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be looking at a new maps, plural. This is Wompsville, New York by DTAPGAMING, StarSpangledModz. 567.99 megabytes download with no required mods to download. So I thought, brilliant stuff, we'll jump on, I'll look at the 3 different versions, and they're going to be pretty much identical maps, aren't they? Of course they are. And I can just talk about the difference between them. Nope, they are individual maps in their own right. So this is going to be the first of 3 map tours on this map pack, and it is a map pack, which is crazy. We're going to start off with the Homestead Edition. I'm doing this one because it's got most of the farm stuff kind of already there. So if you're interested in your farming, if you know it's Farming Simulator, we'll do that one first, and then I will get on to, well, let me just read them out. This one says Homestead Edition. We've got the DIY Edition, and we've got the Forestry Edition. So these ones are NPC storylines. They have NPCs on there, custom NPCs, and I have to say some of them are very, very funny. They've been voiced, and they're great. They really are. And this marks a new point in map creation, especially for console. I don't know about PC at the moment, but that we've had custom NPCs. Now, they can't get the mouths to move because that's a script that Giants have held closely onto, but they have got voices and they have got new characters, and it's very, very cool. So that's a step in a new direction. And buildable NPC houses as well, so constructables have been added in. That's becoming a bigger thing now as we move forward with mods and maps, constructables being a new thing, which is great. So Forestry Edition, NPC Storyline 1, we've got DIY Edition, NPC Storyline 2, and then Homestead Edition, NPC Storyline 3. Like I said, that's the one I'm going to be starting with. Now, as far as I can tell, there's a lot of stuff in the notes. Actually, let's get this one going. Let's go to Homestead Edition and do that, and don't think I'm going to put anything else on. Let's say no customization, no downloadable mods required. So Furrowed Fields, New York, and it's kind of set up, and as you can see there, it says sand, iron ore, stone pile, North American tall grass. We'll talk about all of that in just a moment. This has got a load of extra, or additional, not extra, I suppose it's extra. Additional crop types have been added in as well. Let's go through those. We've got alfalfa, buckwheat, clover, flax, lavender, lentils, millet, mustard, North American tallgrass, poppy, rye, spelt, and triticale. Is that enough? Is that enough to keep you going for a while? I'm okay, thank you very much. What we're going to do is just go into our settings and turn a couple of bits off, which I tend to do, have that on normal. I'm going to leave seasonal growth on because I'll show you the thing in a minute for the additional crop types. Dirt, normal, automatic engine off. And I think if we go actually back to here, let's keep doing that. There we go. I think we're okay on that. Brilliant stuff. So if we come to here, there's our crop calendar. So you'll be able to see if you've got seasons on, the planting and harvesting cycles for various different crops. So we've got alfalfa at the top, third one down we've got buckwheat, and then we've got clover a little bit further down, flax, and as we go down you've got lavender. Don't worry about that, I'll talk about that in a minute as well. Millet, mustard, North American tallgrass. The North American tallgrass, it does say in the description, that has a higher yield. Now these crop types and all the things I'm going to show you with regard to the build mode and there's custom factories, they are all available in all 3 game modes. It's just the maps are different. So it's going to be a case of, I didn't want to say, oh yeah, there's these other 2 maps, because that's quite a, you know, I'm not going to put down or dumb down what they've done. It's very clever, and it shows an evolution of the map moving forward, but they are different maps, so I need to kind of put that out there. Poppy, potatoes we know, right? Poppy, rye, spelt, sunflower, triticale. So yeah, it's all there as far as the custom crops go. Now, as far as the custom crops go, if we go into here and we come down to our seeders and planters. Now, planters puts lavender in the ground. So out of all of those crop types, lavender, and then everything else is put in the ground using seeders. So all those extra crop types at the bottom, all with seeders. Now, as far as harvesting goes, they are all harvestable. Everything's harvestable there with a harvester header, and you know that, you can work that out, because if you go into this menu and we go to our prices, which is there, and we go down, if you look at the left-hand side on prices, alfalfa, it's all there, clover, flax, they all have a price on the right-hand side. So they are all harvestable. Some of the crops are usable in animal feed as well. And the things that you would expect, like alfalfa and stuff, can be dried down, can be baled as well. So there's a ton of stuff that I'm in fear of losing my marbles here. But what I want to do now is go to vehicles, because added in by the map makers under Wompsville, and this is the same as, again, on all three, because Gnadental had lavender, but no lavender harvester. I don't know if in the update it had one added in, but this has got lavender, so don't worry. We've got the minor 49er bucket, so that's a 49, it costs 49,000, will hold 49,000 litres, that bucket there. We've then got the two harvesters here, which are normally cotton harvesters. These will do cotton and lavender. So as far as your lavender harvesting goes, you won't have to worry. You can do your lavender harvesting, which is all very lovely as well. If we come into build mode, and there is a lot going on as well. Under build mode, we've got some sheds added in under build mode. We've got silos down here. We've got an enclosed bunker silo. We'll have a look at that in just a moment. And then we've got some silage clamps added in as well. Did we have anything on silo extensions? I don't think we did. No, but we did under constructables. So I was saying, so these things here, player house, buildable NPC house, NPC house. Then under containers, that's an interesting one. It is a container of sorts, the collectibles. So it's basically a little museum. And when you go around and collect the collectibles, it puts them into the museum, which is nice. Water tower there as well. Then under tools, we have got placeable fuel pump. And under farmhouses, we have got a farmhouse. We come down to factories, and this is what I was talking about. We'll have a look at what these do as well in a moment anyway. But we've got the sawmill, we've got an additional grain mill, bakery, preserved food factory, oil mill, cereal factory, glass, me about glass, which I think is very cool. That actually makes glass. Compact glass forge. Of course I would do that, wouldn't I? Then we go up to stone crusher, compact smeltery, and smeltery. So the smeltery would do some additional stuff. Actually, I might need to place one of those out, because there's not one on the map already. You will need to place it if you want to do smelting of any sort. But we'll have a look at that in just a second. Then after that, there's nothing under sell points in addition to base game. Greenhouses, nothing. Cultivation, nothing. Generators, nothing. Under animals, there's an additional cow pen, which is that one there. No other additional animal pens other than the base game. If we come down to fences and the decorative items, under decoration, we've got a fair bit of stuff been added in down here. So all this stuff here has been added in, as you can see there. Decorational objects, signposts. We've got... actually, it's not saying what they are. So a fence section, looks like a rubble pile. A small pond, lookout tower, trailer, radio tower, so there's a few bits there. And if we come into here, the only thing in addition I could find was actually under plants. We've got some additional ground textures there with the North American tall grass, and then we've got tall mixed meadow and forest mix put in there as well. So all of that been put in. In addition, I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. I'm going to miss something. I know I will. And apologies if I do. Right, we'll talk about slot count. We're at start farm. Woo. Okay. There we go. That's better. Right, so on New Farmer, the slot count on this version of the three maps is 948. On Farm Management Start from Scratch, it comes down to 813. Difference being, on Farm Management Start from Scratch, you don't have any of the vehicles and machinery. Now, I did remove all of the buildings. You can remove them all as well. I got the slot count down to 776. Now, there is a warning with that, because there was a couple of decorative things that were hanging in the air, and I couldn't remove them. Most everything else I could, but as I always say, if you're going to make any big changes like that, save your game first. Make the changes. If it doesn't work, you can always go back to your previous save game. So that's my advice. What else did I need to talk about with regard to that? Contracts are available. Yes. Right, let's get cracking around, shall we? I said about putting a smelter in. I've got a room here. Oh, the map. That's what we need to look at. The map looks like this. So this version of the map, the Homestead Edition, is good to go for farming. And the difference between the three is one is forestry. There are some areas on the map there, but it's predominantly forestry. So you're clearing land, and that's set way back, pre-agriculture. And then you've got the DIY one. All the trees are cleared, but there's nothing else. There's no fields and stuff like that. So it's your job then to plough fields in, add in all the bits and bobs, and make the map what you want it to be. Then there's this version, which is the Homestead Edition, and this has got stuff already on it, fields ready to go. You can jump on and just start playing. So it depends at what development stage you want to access it, which is, I think, it's a great way of doing it. It just makes my life a little bit more complicated, but that's fine. I think it's a very, very cool idea. As far as field prices and stuff go, they're cheap as chips. Let's go across to our farmland. So on New Farmer, we start with the main farm area here. We've got a couple of fields here, a few fields here, and then we have this plot down here, which has got the museum building on it already. And as far as, like I say, field and plot prices go, that 201 grand. They're big old fields as well. 292. Nothing crazy. Nothing break the bank. It's affordable. It's achievable. It's one of those maps you can come on, this particular version of it, come on and just play. I mean, even all that, what's that coming in? 322? That takes in a load of forestry and a load of area down the back there. We've got forestry bits down here. Now, we have got, and we're going to get some later on, this one here is a big sort of stone pile. It says quarry. My mind has always been a quarry into the ground. It doesn't matter. But this is split into 3 sections. So you don't have to buy the whole thing in one go. You can buy each section if you want to. Down the bottom, we've got iron, which can be purchased again, or say purchase. You buy the land and you come and collect it with wheel loaders or whatever you want to pick it up with. That's entirely up to you. So that can be done in 3 sections down the bottom there, but you get some woodland in that as well. Someone asked me the other day, actually, because these came out yesterday and I was actually travelling yesterday, and said I can't work out where the sand is. So I think one of the maps might have a sand pile. That in the stone crusher on this one, it doesn't do stones to lime, it does stone to sand. So if you're trying to find sand or make sand or you need sand, you need to do stone, turn it into sand, then you can use the sand. Unless there is a sand pile. But there's not a sand pile on this particular version of the map. And then, like I say, yeah, the rest of the plot prices are not too bad at all. So as far as that goes with productions, so what we start with here, on the main farm, we've got the enclosed bunker silo. So that will do alfalfa silage, and we've got different ones here. So that gives you silage, and that gives you actual alfalfa silage. Then chaff silage, clover silage, and that one there. So yeah, clover silage, then grass silage. That one will give you clover silage. That one will give you actual silage. So there are some different types of silage. So that is one of those additional sort of factory things added in. That was under silos, I think it was. But if we go back to here and up to the top and go to owned, so bakery, you'll see all these additional things. Bread from flax, bread from flour, bread from flour and lentils. You've got flour and mustard, poppy. That one's a rice flour one. You've got cake with lavender. You've got cake with strawberries, and that one says cake with strawberries as well, but one is with flour, one is with rice flour. So you've got some extra recipes under the bakery. Cereal factory again with this. You've got one up there with buckwheat. We've got one there with millet, rye, spelt, triticale. Then the glass could be about glass. You make glass panes. So it's 4,000 sand, 1,000 wood chip, gives you 36 glass pane. But you obviously need to make your sand first to bring it there. So again, a different production we haven't had before. Our flours, now this all comes out as flour. You don't get separate flours, but you've got buckwheat added in there, millet, and then we've got down there the rye, spelt, triticale. So all those extra crop types, you can make flour from all of those. Oil mill, we've got buckwheat oil, we've got lavender oil, millet oil, mustard oil, poppy seed oil. So all those extra ones added in. Wood treatment oil, didn't even notice that one. Rye to do wood treatment oil, that's a different one. That's pretty cool as well, like that. Preserved food factory, there's some extra ones there. For example, ketchup, mustard. So there's all extra ones thrown into the preserved food factory. Sawmill, I think is fairly standard. Then the stone crusher, I said that does 4,000 stone to sand, not stone to lime. So that one you might be looking for. So that's the productions that can be placed. Right, now we can get around the map. So sleep and wardrobe trigger here. We have got, well, water and stuff later on. What's cool about this, and I've been talking about this for a while, I said, why is it that we've got NPCs on maps, and a lot of people are very anti-NPC. It's not like an anti-NPC league or anything like that. There's no, there's not official meetings or anything like that. But a lot of people, that when you get maps with NPCs, oh, why have we got them on there? And I said, I don't understand why there's not an option to just turn them off. They've done it on here. So this is the first for that as well. Absolutely brilliant. So as we come into the barn, what I like about this as well, not all of the equipment is damaged, some is, but it's all dirty. There's mud on the tyres. It looks like it's been used, is in use, which is pretty cool. So a few tractors here, trailer there, and we've also got the, I don't use these very often, but for doing your silage harvesting, rather than getting a forage wagon, you can get this thing. But I always found the horsepower requirement was ridiculous and it never worked particularly well. I mean, I don't know, that was just me personally. But anyway, so in this shed we've got tractors and stuff. Water tower there, and it says Wompsville, New York on it, which is pretty cool. We come over to these sheds. So this is that silage, so covered, enclosed silage clamp. When we click on that, we can see, that was what we already looked at, but that's there. These two sheds have got some bits in over here. So harvester, and again, it's the amount of mud on the tyres. I love that. I love that in the game as well. I just think that is really cool when you come off the field, you see the mud gradually sort of flicking off the tyres. Grasswork equipment in here, tedder, windrower, baler, and mower is the word I was looking for there. It's going to be one of those days. I came onto this thinking, right, brilliant stuff. I'll get up, I'll get cracking on my map tour prep, and then realised it was 3. I thought, oh, that's all right. I'll talk about the first 2 at the start and then carry on, and then realised, no, actually, they're going to be separate map tours. So, yeah, and then there's another map as well. Roanplatz, is it? Was out? Anyway, in this shed, we've got cultivator, stone picker, plough, lime, and or fertiliser spreader. Planters and seeder, just there. Scarecrow up there, just looking quite menacing and scary. If we come across here, farmer's market. So that's the sell point, and that's there. It's just, you can remove it if you want to. Bale and pallet storage, 250 items just here. If you look in bottom left, we're kind of working our way around from the farmhouse, round this yard here, back up this way. And we're going to come to the first of the NPCs, one of the first of the modded NPCs. And what's cool about this one as well, Kenneth on here, I think it says in the description, Kenneth is one of the ones that on all 3 of the maps, his actual, what he says changes because the map's different. So he's the mainstay, he's the main guy, So his interactions change on the 3 maps. I think the others all stay pretty much the same. It does mention Kenneth specifically. Now, if I'm wrong about that, I apologise. I'm just going by what it says in the description at the moment. I have done a bit of trial and error on this one. As we come through here, feed mixer and bale shredder. Liquids tank just there, and small bale trailer there. We come out of here, there's the water tower we talked about a minute ago. Come across, fuel point just there. This shed and storage. Now, I think the maps, well, it's a pack, will get an update, and you'll see why in just a moment. There's a few little bits here and there. Could be the crossover to console. There's a couple of textures here and there that seem to be missing. It's just very black, but you'll see that later on. And there's one of the buildings which isn't showing at all. But this is, I've never encountered anything like this on any map tours. It's interesting. So over here, we've got our horse brush bench, spray can benches. This is pretty cool. Look at that. Rack on the wall. We can take the chainsaws. There's 4 already, but there's space for more chainsaws. So if you want 8, if you want 8 chainsaws, absolutely go for it. Chainsaw rack. Then these are both the same. These are, I don't know, they're very, I don't know why they're there, but they're very cool. Anyway, so this is our workshop, farm workshop, repair and repaint, and both these triggers do the same thing. So you've got repair and repaint on both of those. Then we come out of this building here and come round, and we come to our cow barn, and Kenneth is just here in the field. And we're not going to go through everything he does or says, but let's just have a listen.
This land didn't always look like this. It used to be wild, untamed, just trees, rocks, and dreams. But we saw something more in it. Wasn't just me, though. Lisa, Burkle, Chuck, Briggs, Walter, Ben, David, Katie, Tristan, and Noah. We all had a hand in shaping this place.
Right, I'm going to come out of there. That gives you some idea the amount of NPCs that are on here. I don't know how they got Morgan Freeman to do the voice. It sounds just like Morgan Freeman to me, but that's incredible. I love that. So, come around the barn here. They have got food already. But we've got cows in here. The cows in here, how many do we have? 30 out of a potential 254. So our dialog box is just here for our cows. There you go. Cow barn large. And we do have a manure heap, which has already got some manure in it. It's been running for a little while. Then we come over here. We've got a shed with a pickup in it, which we're going to use for going around the map. And then we're back to the farmhouse, which is just there. Now, this little bit down here, and this is what I was talking about. When we come down to here, we've got our workshop trigger, which obviously we've already seen we've got workshops over there, but this is sort of the main map workshop. And this is the vehicle shop. Now, I went on to do the Forest Edition. Once I realised that the 3 maps were quite different, I thought, you know what, I'll do this one first. This was the same on the Forest Edition, so I think this vehicle shop is potentially gonna need to get an update because it was the same one. I'm trying to think, was it under? Wasn't it here? No, let me go back to here. It wasn't under tools, was it? No, it was just showing the fuel pump, not the building. But anyway, yeah, it's always under sheds. Anyway, that being said, you can access it if you come. I know it's weird because it's the building bit's missing. It says open door. You get the sound effects, the lights, all the stuff's there, but just not the outside part of the building's not showing. But you can go in there, and that is your vehicle workshop trigger. This is the reset point for the map as well, just here. And over here is that bit I was talking about. And like I say, it's a game changer. It's a groundbreaking first step. And every time I've done mod reviews, map tours, and something like this happened, I said, it's not necessarily just the fact it's cool on here. It's the potential moving forward for mods and maps and things that it now shows it can be done. So people can go, oh, okay, you know, we know that can be done now. So remove NPCs. Once you activate this trigger, save and reload the save for the physical NPCs to disappear from the map or bring them back. But if we look at the map here, you'll see we've got these NPCs dotted around all over the place. There's one there as well. We had Kenneth we just spoke to as well. If I now click on that L3, it says remove them and go back to the map, they're now all gone. Oh, he's still there, actually, interestingly. But the ones that were all here have all gone. Kenneth has gone. Yeah, so it will remove them immediately. You need to save the game and come out and then come back because it does say about removing the actual physical attributes of them. But I can click that back and move NPCs back onto the map and they're now back on so I can carry on with the map tour. So, not all of them talk, which is interesting because the one just down here, Tristan, I couldn't get it to work and I'm not sure if it's supposed to. I don't know if he's supposed to be like quiet, moody and brooding. I'm not sure, but it was the only one out of all of them I couldn't get to work. Now, some of them seem to have labels in front of them. Some of them don't. I'm not sure. Again, I assume that's on purpose. I don't know for certain, but that seems to be the case. So let's grab the pickup. And again with this, the pickup's worn. It's seen some use. Look at it. But it seems stuff like this. All the little signs in here, look. It's got a great load of detail to it. So there you go. That's advertised in the Forestry Edition, just there. Let me just switch the map. I don't think it does. Oh, there you go. Furrowed field. So that's rotating through the 3 different versions that are available, and we are Wompsville, New York. Bye-bye. Right. Let's get round the map, because there's some cool stuff to see. And with the productions, oh, that was what I was going to do. I wonder if I can put it in. Depends how much room it takes and how expensive it is. Might have to put some extra money in as well, actually. But we go down to factories. Oh, we could put a mini smelter in, couldn't we? That might be an easier way of doing it. Where was the oil mill, compact glass, stone crusher, smeltery, compact smeltery? There we go. Well, have I got room here to put one of these in? We have. Because there's not one on the map, so I wanted to see, because the actual icons are quite small. I thought it'd be easier if we actually have a look at the menu and see what the smeltery does. I'm assuming we bring iron to it, but then does it require anything else, and what does it do? And obviously the larger one will do more stuff, I would imagine. It's usually 10 times more. Oh, wood chip and iron ore. Cool, right. So click on there. So we've got coil, sheet metal, iron pipes, and iron spikes. Okay. I don't think there's any onward production There's nothing on here that requires them, but that's what you can make from here. That's pretty cool, like that. I wonder what the prices are for those. Let's go back to here. I assume they'll be on it. See if we can find a couple. You know, coil sheet metal, there you go. 10,413, 10,411, so mid 10,000s, that's pretty cool. So, iron pipes, mid 3s, iron spikes, high 1s into almost 2s. There you go. So that's what we can do at the smeltery. Very cool. Right, now we'll carry on. Apologies if it's a little bit either muffled or echoey. I'm indoors today rather than out in the man cave. It's 32 degrees here today. I thought if it's 32 degrees outside, it's going to be like about 35, 36 in the man cave. It's just too much. So you know what? Start inside. It'll be a little bit easier, a bit more shade, a bit cooler, and we can crack right along. So you will see the first of these because I put them back out again. So Walter is over here. Now the main ones that we're used to seeing, their speech and stuff remains the same, but their characters have altered ever so slightly. Walter's looking a little bit more, a little bit more cowboy, a little bit cooler. And then over here, once you buy the land, he's on this plot just here. So you buy plot 5, and that gives you I'll buy this one just to show you the first one. Let's buy that. Did I not start with 1 million? Did I start with 100,000 by mistake? How much was that smeltery? That's bizarre. Compact smeltery was 67 grand. I started with 100,000, not 1 million. That's going to cause a problem. Anyway, you can buy that plot of land, and then it gives you access to the construction of the NPC house, and there's a lot of them around the map. So you don't have to buy the land, and if you don't want to construct them, you don't have to construct them. And as we saw in the build mode, there are decorative item versions of those, so if you wanted to place a decorative item one, you can. Right, so let's whiz down here. Like I said, I won't show you all of those because there are a few on the map. I'll show you where they are. I wanted to buy one at least. I might have to just pause the game and we'll get some stuff. So warehouse point is just here, and Tristan is inside. Now it could be a conflict with the trigger. If we open the door here, there's Tristan, but when you get right up in front of Tristan, on the other NPCs it then says start conversation, but we've got the open pallet point, so Tristan's the guy you buy pallets from, and that's fine. But you can buy iron spikes, and you can buy coil sheets and iron pipes here as well. That's curious because there's not I'm wondering actually whether or not, I don't know, like I say, this is a first look map tour. This is not a deep dive into everything on the productions. Whether or not any of the constructions, the constructables, does it say in here? Whether any of the constructables require, it might be you require those items under constructables. What does it say? I didn't even really look here. Yes, it does, look. Look at the bottom there. It rolls through the various different things it needs, including roof tiles, pipes, iron spikes, which I suppose in essence that's nails, isn't it? Which a lot of the other construction things don't have. So it's giving you that thing, because I always wondered with some of those, so well, where's the metal come from? This brings that into it. The smeltery, the iron, adds so much more to that construction system, so that's why you need them. But if you don't want to make them, you don't want to run the productions, you can buy them in pallet form if you've got a load of money. But again, that is entirely up to you. So yeah, I'm not sure about Tristan. I don't know if, as I said, because the pallet trigger is so close, it doesn't give you the option to. I'm not too sure. As we head down here to our right, we've got Ben that we can have a chat to. Now Ben's also got a plot of land just behind him. If we come to the map, we are just here. So just there in the trees, when you buy his plot of land, there's also another there for construction of an NPC house, if you want to do that. What's weird, and I don't know if he's supposed, I assume he's supposed to be here, but as we come down the hill here, we've got Noah. Now if you buy Noah's plot of land, you don't get a construction. I don't know if Noah's supposed to be over by the sawmill, or whether he's supposed to be here on this version of the map. Anyway, the homestead edition is here, or it's left you that plot of land spare so you can do what you want. You might want to put an additional sawmill in, but we're here with Noah. But again, if you've removed all the NPCs, it makes all of this a moot point. But I would say at least spend a bit of time, if you want to, again it's up to you, have a chat to the NPCs. And now what's interesting as well, considering this map is kind of the final evolution of its growth, how it's gone from forestry to open DIY to a ready-to-go farm sort of area. How there's not roads out to this bit. I suppose it's because he's out in the wilderness. He's a bit of a nut job. So we've got Chuck out here, and Chuck is a full-blown lunatic. But it's very cool, and like I say, I love the characters. I love the voicing of them. So out here, so out of this plot here, plot 7 and plot 8. If you buy those, you get this big stone pile here, and there's another big one further out. So as far as it goes for making sand, or if you just want to make lime, if you want to put your own lime factory in the base game one or a modded one, you can. But there's stone here. Buy those plots. Come talk to Chuck. Like I say, I won't do everything, but
I see you made it. I bet you don't even know about the subterranean rock lizards running this whole operation up. If them little critters didn't dig in tunnels for centuries, whispering secrets to the stone, that's why we mine here. Good, strong stone. Full of history. But don't let the corporate bigwigs hear you talk about it. They don't want folks knowing the truth.
yeah, so he's obsessed with rock lizards, and he hears them talking, whispering to him all the time. And like I said, there's a whole load more on that as well, but Chuck's there. Just like I say, it just adds so, just made me smile. And I like the fact it's different to the base game ones. Whether at any point Giants will sort of relinquish the coding for the mouse moving or not, but it doesn't really matter. You know, at the end of the day, you've still got the voices, you've still got the text there, and it's more about what they're saying and the information they're giving you, not really whether the mouse moving or not. I mean, it depends how you feel about that, potentially. You might be adamant the mouse have to move, and that's absolutely fine. Now, we're going to cut across here. And again, I could show you on the map, just say, look, this is here, but that other big stone area, and it's a much bigger one than where Chuck is. If we drive all the way out here, it gives you some idea as well of the space you're playing with and the field sizes. And like I said earlier, the field prices aren't expensive, so it's a winner, if you ask me. I like the fact you've got that North American tall grass as well, which it looks thick. I don't know if this is it or not, but it looks thicker and deeper, and like I said, it does say in the description it does give you a higher yield as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, all the way over here, and again this one is split into 3 pieces of land, so you don't have to buy all in one hit, which can get a bit pricey. But if we go airball on this, there you go, look at that, absolutely huge area there of stone to be collected. Again, buckets of various different descriptions. There are plenty of modded conveyor belts that will pick up off the ground, which might help, so you might want to bring it and load up trailers. Now there's all sorts of stuff available, but if quarrying and that sort of thing's not your bag, it does also say in the description you can landscape over them. Actually, should I try that or no? I haven't got enough money, have I? Which way do I need to go here? I'm trying to remember. I need to go right. Let me just check the map. So we've come from the main farm area here. We did all of this, went down there out to Chuck. We've come all the way back across, and we've come all the way out here. And we're now here. We come down to there. So I want to go... Where do I want to go? I'm not too sure. We'll go left. I think we'll go left and then to that road and then down. Yeah, we'll do that. Left and a right, is it? I think so. Then we'll head down the map to the bottom section where all the rest of the good stuff's happening. And like I say, I'm interested to see, because I only had a quick glance at the forestry one, and so once I realised it was actually going to be quite a minefield to... there's no way I could have got it all into one. I know people will be annoyed about that, but it is, in effect, it is 3 separate maps. If they had released as Wompsville Homestead Edition, Wompsville Forestry, and then I'd be doing 3 separate map tours anyway, I suppose, so depends how you look at it. And the other 2 map tours will be quicker, because there's a lot of stuff like all of the crop types, all of the buildings, all the productions, all the stuff that I've already covered. And I would suggest then, when I do the other map tours, that people either refer back to this one. I'll mention them, of course I will, but I don't need to necessarily go as deep. I suppose I probably should, I don't know. I'm just trying to work out the best way to do it. I mean, we've encountered maps before where there've been a couple of different versions of the map, but I don't think I've encountered it quite like this before. Now, This is what I was talking about, the texture. Now, this could just be, let's say, the console crossover. We've got this little bit here with these lovely flowers and a little old car in the middle of it. But that texture in front, I think the texture itself might be missing, because that's like a void black. It's not like, oh, it's supposed to be black. That looks to me like it's just a missing texture, potentially. So, yeah, I assume we might get an update. But I love this. Cool, isn't it? One of those little features that stands out. I don't know why it's there, but it is. So, heading down to the bottom of the map, and we will work our way across. Now, this is something I did notice. All the traffic all seems to be all together the whole time. But what we'll do is have a look here. So all these plots along here, 54, we got 55, we got 56, and then we got, was it 57? Yeah, 57 just there. All these plots, when you buy them, you don't get sleep triggers. They've got little caravans on them, mobile homes, however you want to refer to them, static homes. So you can buy those little plots and you can add sleep triggers. That one's got Lisa on it, and that one's got David. Now, David is an NPC we're aware of. We know of David. Lisa, we will stop and have a quick chat to her, because Lisa is bonkers as well, which is pretty cool. Love it. Then we've got this one here. Plot 60 is another one of those NPC plots. We'll come past it and you'll see there's a buildable, constructible one. You buy that little plot of land, it will give the option to build there. Then we're going to head down towards the iron quarry, iron pile, however you want to refer to that. So, let's say each of these plots are purchasable, as are the rest of the land plots, but they're just a little bit separate. We've got to keep an eye on the map, bottom right, bottom left. So we get to Lisa. Lisa's a bit of a daydreamer. Nothing wrong with that. Like I say, I just think it's great that they've got people to voice it, whether it's friends, family, I don't know who's done it, but it's very cool. So.
Oh, is that a butterfly? No. Just a leaf. Ugh. If you could lick the sky, I wonder if it would have a taste. Like blueberry. No, maybe grape. I should have brought my cloud journal. That one looked like a sleeping cat.
See what I mean? It just made me laugh. I don't know. I don't know, how do they come up with it, and what would you decide? I mean, it must have taken, I don't know, if it was me, you would go through tons of iterations to get to something you think, that's it, that's what we're going to do, that's what we're going to say. Anyway, David's here. David does his usual chat, because David is a long-standing NPC. Creepy Dave, he's there. We'll come down past this bit. Oh, that's what I was going to show you, actually, before we go all the way down there. Because we're going to go down to here, but we're going to come back up to do all of these. But these two plots here are the same thing again. That one there, 62 and 63. Buy over those plots, and you've got constructibles on there as well if you want to do constructibles for those. So we'll come past the first of these. I won't drive up to those ones. I mean, the constructibles look like the constructibles, the same as this one just here. So NPC house just there, if you want to bring all the materials. But again, if that's not your thing, you don't have to. They're just there. You know, you haven't got to mess around with them too much if you don't want to. Come down the bottom here again. Massive like the other ones, but the iron quarry is huge, absolutely huge. And the guy here, Burkel, when you talk to Kenneth, I talked to him for a little while when I was doing my kind of prep rounds. He talks about each of the individual people that help get it to this point, and it's named after a river apparently. But he was so enthused by the whole thing, he took on his name. He's hiding behind the tree, I'm not quite sure why, but he's quite cool as well. So.
Hey there, stranger. You ever think about how birds don't have eyebrows? Wild, right? Oh, but that's not why you're here. You're here for iron. Iron, the backbone of civilization. The thing that makes skyscrapers, tools, and... Wait, do you hear that? Thought I heard a cricket. Anyway, you want to mine iron. Well, first you need...
Now, I don't know if it's the same person doing all the voices, and if it is the same person, they're absolutely brilliant. Obviously, the female voice would be different. I get the impression it's different people, but it's very cool anyway. Each of the characters is significantly different. The one is not scary is the wrong word. There's a guy called Briggs. We'll come to Briggs in a little while. Briggs is quite not aggressive. It's, I don't know, like I say, they're all very different in their own right, and I like it. I think it's a cool addition. If more maps had custom NPCs, it wouldn't be that thing of, oh, NPCs again. It's just when you've got however many maps have come out so far and what percentage of them have got NPCs on, but they're the same NPCs that we had on the base game maps, and they're saying the same thing. It gets a little bit like, I'm much of the opinion, why have they been added on? It makes no sense to me, because they're just saying everything that's been said before, and you've heard it all before. But again, yeah. Horses for courses and whatnot. Just to our right is the grain mill. Behind that, we've got just over there, preserved food factory. We've already had a look at these in the various different menus. Come on, off that. Anyway, grain mill. Behind that, let me just check my notes. We've got the preserved food factory. We've then got just over there cereal factory. Behind that, we've got the oil mill, and then we've got a bakery as well. Then on this side of the road, which again, I don't think I've encountered one like this. We've got the animal dealer, but rather than it being a big old building, it's just like a little lay-by thing. And I love the fact they've got the lorry sat here. So it's like, it just, maybe it comes around every now and again. They set up this little area here. You load and unload, buy your stock, sell your stock, and off it goes. It's cool. That's the animal dealer. So cereal factory, oil mill and bakery is just there. Sawmill was just here, so if you want to buy the sawmill, like I say, so Noah's the other side of the map. And like I say, I assume that's on purpose. And then this is the museum. So when you get your collectibles, and it does say 34 collectibles. If we open up the doors here, as you gather them, I assume they'll just appear on, well, I don't know if they're on plinths or whether, but this is quite cool, look. Not the first time we've had a lift, but I like it. So you've got 2 floors of museum space. It's a very modern building. What's the phrase? Artsy fartsy. It's that kind of little art gallery. Very posh. So there we go. That's the museum. So come from there over to Lizard Inc. Now Lizard Inc. was set up and run, or has been set up and run by, did I say Biggs or Briggs? Biggs is Star Wars. Briggs. Now he will give you information as well. I guess it kind of makes sense, but it depends if you've got all your markers and icons and stuff on. Sell wood marker is here, but you take your stuff over there, come round to here, click on that, and it will sell wood. But when you talk to him, he explains what you have to do and why. And again, that's a cool feature, I like that. But this is sell anything, and they will buy anything. And I love the fact you've got that sign up there, that Lizard Incorporated. I'm sure it says we buy almost anything. We buy almost everything. So yeah, Briggs. Now his has got a little marker in front of it. Talk to Briggs, which the other ones didn't have. Or unless I missed them, but... Does he look like Lemmy?
Be sure to open the grate cover before trying to unload trailers that require the auger and bin. I am not sweeping up messes anymore. I will stop you from unloading your bulk trailers if it ain't open. To unload wood, pallets, bales, or liquids, just pull over the grate cover. We will unload you accordingly. For wood, you will need to exit the vehicle after parking over the grate cover.
That's same with all the others, so I'm not going to go through everything. But I like the fact it gives an explanation. It is that thing of, if you're completely new to the game and you come onto a map like this and you're thinking, what on earth is all this about? It gives quite a clear description. So we can come over to here, L3, open the grate, and it shows you all the things, says what you can do here. Grains and root crops, liquids, wood, bales, products, and then we do our wood unloading there around the corner. So you drive over here, go in there, click the button, boom, off you go. And then when you're done, close the grate, and off you go. And Briggs will be happy, because he already said he'll stop you unloading here. If you don't behave yourself, he will stop you. I just thought I like that. Very cool. Anyway, next building over, we've got the stone crusher. That will take your stone and make sand. And then we have got the glass me about glass building just there. which will take the sand and other things that we looked at, and that will give you glass panes. So again, I'm assuming as we build, I say assuming, it was one of the things, wasn't it? As you're building the constructibles, of course glass has got to be part of it. Where do your windows come from? So again, I love the fact they've added that in. It makes the whole constructibles process more realistic. The whole thing adds to that realism. And it's a cool feature. Which brings us to the last person just here, and we've got Katie. We all know Katie, but she's not at the animal dealer bit there. She's here, and she is waiting to have her home built. So this here is plot 41. Buy that plot. You get the plot as well, of course, and then you can do construction for her as well. But again, I suppose there's that thing, people... what's the best way I can put this? It's that thing that when you do a map like this, or any map, and you talk about stuff like this, and people say, well, why? I don't want to do that. Well, again, well, that's fine. I'm not telling people they have to do it. It's cool that it's on here. And like I say, it adds to that immersion. It adds to the reality of, if you are building a house, you are going to need metal. You're going to need nails. You're going to need glass. And I guess Giants, in their constructibles, oversimplified things. And this is just these guys saying, you know what? Let's make it a little bit more realistic. Let's add these things in so people can go do the whole process. They can go and get the stone, they can get the sand, they can make the windows, they can get the iron ore, they can make pipes, they can bring it all for construction. I like it. But if you don't want to, this version of the map especially is already set up for farming, and there's no shortage of fields. And all those extra crop types means there's no shortage of crops. So if you don't want to do any of that other stuff, you don't have to at all. Just come on here and play it as a farm map. There's plenty of farming to be done. But that's, again, if I've missed something, I do apologise. I think I've got everything on that one. I'm going to jump on, and the next one I'll do will be the forestry, and then we'll have a look at the DIY. They should be, I say, they should be a little bit easier to do the prep on. We'll see. But there you go. That is Wompsville, New York. That is the Homestead Edition. That is by DTAPGAMING and StarSpangledModz. Now, it does say in the description that one of them is by one of them, the second one is by the other one, and the third one is by both of them. But I will credit both of them because it's their pack. You know, that kind of makes sense. So before people start commenting saying, well, actually, so-and-so made that one, the pack is by both of them, so I will credit both of them when I talk about it. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.